whore, Babylon the Great. So it says, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore. The judgment of the great whore, which is America, the United States of America, that sitteth upon many waters. The many waters are symbolic for the people. The many waters talking about the different nationalities that are in America. That's what the many waters are. That sitteth upon many waters. America is a country that's made up of immigrants from all over the world. Those are the many waters in Revelation chapter 17. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. With whom the leaders of the world have committed fornication. What kind of fornication? Economic fornication. Symbolic for their economic ties with America. For their ties of America's two-party system. Democratic, Republican. Goes all the way back to the Romans. The Romans had a two-party system. Plebeians and the patricians. The plebeians were the common folk. The patricians were the elites. The same thing we have today. Republican, Democrat, left, right, Labour, Conservative. It's the same system. Reincarnation of the Roman Empire. So it says he's committed fornications with the kings of the earth. The kings of the earth are the other nations that trade with America and that accept America's system and way of life. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. They have. The inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. What is the wine of America's fornication? It's philosophies. It's ways of life. That's the wine of its fornication. So a perfect example, Colombia just made abortion legal about 6 months ago. Colombia made it legal. Now America's made it illegal. So Colombia was drunk with the wine of America's fornication. They legalized abortion about 6 months ago. It's never been legal in Colombia, abortion. And then what happened? Yesterday, 2 days ago, America's made abortion illegal. So all those countries that have been drunken with the wine of her fornication, that have followed in her ways and her philosophies, many countries did that. Many countries legalized, Ireland legalized abortion about 3-4 years ago. It was never legal for you to have an abortion in Ireland up until about 2019 or 2020. They made it illegal because they were all drunk with the wine of her fornication, of her wickedness, following in her ways and in her beliefs. This is what they did. So now America's reversed it. So now they're all stuck with these laws that they've implemented following America, and now America's reversed it in their own country. Beautiful. But that's an example when we talk about them being drunken with the wine of her fornication. They have been drunken with the wine of America's fornication. Her ways, her philosophies, her way of life. And the inhabitants have been drunk with the wine of her fornication. Verse 3. It says, and it's a short chapter, Revelation 17, so we're going to kind of breeze through it, right? Because we've gone roughly 1.5 hours, so we're going to kind of breeze through it. Simple as that, all right? Verse 3. So Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet beast. That woman is symbolic for America, Babylon the Great, the United States of America, right? Sit upon a scarlet beast. The scarlet beast is symbolic for Europe. America, you see, Europe follows America's philosophies of way as well. Its laws, its two-party system. So it says here, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So the 7 heads represent the 7 kings, right? Or the 7 empires. The Greek Empire, Germania Minor, Germania Major, all right? Germania Minor, Germania Major, the French Empire, the Spanish Empire, right? And then obviously you've got the Roman Empire, right? Those are the 7 heads, right? Which are the 7 kings, The Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, Germania Minor, Germania Major, the French, and the Roman Empire, basically. So those are the 7 heads. And then the 10 horns represent what? The 10 horns are the European Union. That comes from those 7 heads. So when it says here, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 10 horns are symbolic for the European Union. When the European Union was first established, the Council of Europe, they had a treaty. It was called the Treaty of Rome. That's what it was called, the Treaty of Rome. So Europe is just a reincarnation of the Roman Empire. The 7 heads represent those 7 empires. The 10 horns represent the countries that were first part of what we know today as the European Union. Before it was called the ECC, the European something community, and it was about 1957 they signed a treaty. It's called the Treaty of Rome, because it's the reincarnation of the Roman Empire. So this is what this is talking about. It's symbolic for those places there. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. The woman is symbolic for America, the United States of America, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of the abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. Well, I mean, everything wicked and filthy comes from America, literally. This whole idea of transgenderism, same-sex marriage, homosexuality, all comes from America. That's part of our wickedness. Abortion, it's something that America pushed. This parent planhood. Now she's trying to reverse the tide. It's too late. The Bible says, I would have healed Babylon, but she cannot be healed. Babylon can't be healed. It tells you that right in the book of Revelation chapter 13. The scripture says, is it Revelation 13? His deadly wound was healed. No, it's Jeremiah. In Revelation 13, its deadly wound was healed, which is the Roman Empire, the reincarnation of the Roman Empire. It's Jeremiah 51, I believe. Let me see if I can quickly find it. The scripture says, I would have healed Babylon. 51. Jeremiah 51. It says here, Jeremiah 51 verse 7. It says, Babylon, which is America, has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth to drunken. What we just read in Revelation 17. We just read in Revelation 17, right? The precept to that, where it says here, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication with, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. The wine of her fornication is her philosophies, her ways of life, her two-party system, a whole democratic, socialist system that she puts up on the world. Capitalist system, sorry. So Jeremiah is telling you the same thing here. Jeremiah 51 verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. So all of these nations have drunken of the wine of Babylon, of America. So they've taken on America's philosophies, America's ways of life, its belief, its two-party system, its love for homosexuality, its love for lesbianism, its love for transgenderism, its love for abortion. All of these nations have taken on America's ways of life. They've drunken the wine. It's symbolic. It's not talking about physically drinking red wine. It's symbolic. Drunken the wine of America's fornication. All right? All of these nations. It's windy today. Hold on. The wind just blew the chapter out of my hand. So the scripture says here, go back to Jeremiah 51, verse 8, verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup, which is America, in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, symbolically, like I just said. Therefore, the nations are mad. So what did I just say earlier? Colombia just recently legalized abortion. America got rid of abortion yesterday. So Colombia had been drinking of the wine of that cup of America. So now they're probably mad, thinking, well, the only reason why we legalize abortion so that we can be lock and step with America. Now, America's made abortion illegal. Now we're stuck with it. So the nations are mad. And you're going to see more of these things that America put up for these nations to do that they're going to withdraw from. But that's just an example of the nations being mad. Verse 8, Jeremiah 51 verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. So America thinks because it makes abortion illegal that somehow they're going to be good in the eyes of the Most High. Don't get me wrong. It's a great thing that they're doing to make abortion illegal. It's a beautiful thing, but it doesn't change its outcome. It doesn't change America's outcome of its destruction that's been prophesied in the Bible. It doesn't change the end game. The end game doesn't change because America has made abortion illegal. So when the scripture says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed, howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. That's not going to heal you, America, because you made abortion illegal. That's not going to make it right with the Most High. That's not going to heal America. America's wickedness is total. It's so much. America's rap sheet is so long. It's like a toilet roll. If you get a toilet roll and you roll it out like that, that's America's rap sheet. So the scripture says, Jeremiah said, I would have healed Babylon. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. Forsake her, leave her, because she is destined for destruction. There's no way out of it. Forsake her and let us go everyone into our own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up into the skies. So America's judgment is reached up to heaven. There's no going back. There's no forsaking her. There's no healing America. There's no amount of good that America think it can do now that's going to change the end game. America's judgment has reached up to heaven. Forsake her. So America believes because it has made abortion illegal that somehow it's good in the eyes of the Lord. It's no good. It's too late. There's no coming back for America. It's too late. So let's go back to Revelation 17. So, and the woman was arrayed, Revelation chapter 17, verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. That's symbolic for the wickedness that goes on in America. It's as simple as that. Verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great. It's no longer a mystery to us. The Lord said in Isaiah, I have removed the covering cast. I believe it's Isaiah 32. Let me see. It's Isaiah 32. The Lord said he's removed the covering cast. Isaiah 32. No, it's not. Hold on. I gotta find it. I'm gonna go to quick search for it. It's Isaiah 32. The Lord says remove the covering cast. She's exposed now. There's no. So Isaiah 30. Hold on. Isaiah 25. Yeah. Isaiah 25 verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain. Mountains are symbolic for governments. Remember, what are they having right now? It's called a G7 summit. Right now, the G7 countries Canada, United Kingdom, Japan, America, Germany, France. I think that's who they are. They're having a G7 summit meeting now. That's what they have right now. Right now they're having a G7 meeting. So when the scripture says, Isaiah 25 verse 7, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast. So all the lies that America has been telling has now been revealed. All the lies that these elites of Edom that control America have been perpetuating have been revealed. We know where Mystery Babylon is. We know it's the United States of America. We know who the great whore is that sits on many waters. That's the United States of America. So the scripture says, I will destroy the covering cast. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all the people. So all the lies that America has been telling about itself, about the country, about its wickedness, about who the Edomites are, it's all been revealed now. We all know now. And the veil that is spread over all nations. You hear that? Isaiah chapter 25 verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain, in this government, America, mountain, symbolic for summit. G7 summit is going on right now. When you go to the top of a mountain, it's called the summit. So this is metaphoric, parabolic language for government. And I will destroy in this mountain. Hold on. That's what they don't understand. They don't understand the Bible's parabolic, metaphoric, and symbolic meanings of words and what they are saying. So Isaiah says this, and he will destroy in this mountain, these governments, the face of the covering cast over all the people, and the veil that is spread over all the nations. The veil is the lies. When a woman wears a veil, you can't see her face. The Lord says he's going to destroy in this mountain, in this government, Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, the whore that sits on the beast, the covering cast, the lies that it's been telling over all the people, all the lies that it's been telling the people about who they are, who the nations are, who the true children of Israel are, who are the Israelites, who are those people in the land of Israel that call themselves Jewish and Israelis. These are all lies. They're not the people of the Bible. They're not God's people. They are Edomites. They are Esau's seed. They descend from Esau. That's who they are. Total lies. So the Lord said, I'm going to destroy in this mountain the covering cast, the lies that these people have been telling about the nations, about who they are, about who America is, who are the Edomites, who are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. The covering cast over all the people, and the veil that is spread across the nations. The veil, when a woman wears a veil, is to hide her face. So the Lord is going to destroy the covering cast, the lies, and the veil that America and these Edomites, these Europeans have had over all of the nations. You know you're an Israelite, yeah? You are, 100%. Where are you from?
Jamaica.
Oh, you're Israelite. You're Benjamin. Tribe of Benjamin. We are the true children of Israel. We are the Israelites. Jamaica's a name that our slave masters gave to us.
I just don't believe in the Israelite thing because it's got some like European names in that.
No. These are the indigenous people of those lands.
Right.
That's who they are.
Right.
And remember.
But the names, okay, the 12 tribes.
Yeah.
The names are European names.
No, it's not European names. These are just spelled in
They're
English.
not African names.
No, but we're not African.
We're African.
No, we're Israelites. We lived in Africa. We come from the promised land, from Israel. That's who we are. But we lived in Africa for 1,500 years. We were taken from Africa as slaves to the Americas and to the West Indies.
Yeah, but okay, so
but we are not.
For example, the Moors.
Yeah.
The Moors
Are Israelites. that were worshipping Islam. That's all that is.
No, but that's modern day.
No.
The Islam came in through colonization.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they wasn't worshipping. There wasn't no such thing as Islam.
But what is the Moors? What is the Moors?
About?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not talking about Islam.
Yeah.
Israelite's not Islam. We're not talking about Islam.
But the original Moors was not following Islam because there was no such thing as Islam.
Absolutely. The original Moors were Israelites. But they were, what happened to the Moors during the times of Muhammad? They became Muslims and worshipping Islam. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The Moors,
colonization.
absolutely, because they colonized those places. But what I'm trying to say to you, your nationality, you're an Israelite, you're a nation, and a people are a nation before they are a country.
Yeah.
We were Israelites living in the land of Israel.
Jamaican people were brought from Nigeria.
Absolutely, and those
we are prominently Igbo tribe or whatever.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and those Igbos.
So the Israelite thing has, I don't understand that. That doesn't
Okay.
fall into
All right,
what
but
I know as fact.
okay, but let me explain to you then.
Okay, go.
The Igbos.
I'm not challenging you.
No,
by the way.
I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I know that. You just want answers.
Yeah.
The Igbos are Israelites. They themselves know they are Hebrew Israelites. If you speak to any Nigerian, I'm telling you the truth. You ask any Nigerian elder, bigger man, not young child, bigger man, Igbo, and you ask him, does he know about the Israelites? He knows that he's a Hebrew Israelite. We, as a people, we fled to the west coast of Africa in 70 AD. The Romans, they took down Jerusalem. The Israelites, some of us fled up into Europe, and the majority of us fled to the west coast of Africa. So what we know today is Ghana, Nigeria, Mali, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, Algeria.
But the people who occupied that land beforehand, before the people came there, the original people of that land, they cannot have been Israelites.
Absolutely. They were Hamites. They were Africans.
Yeah.
Right. So what you must understand is that all black people are not Africans. That's what we were taught in our schools. If you're black, you're African. That's a lie. The Babylonians were Africans. The Persians were Africans.
No, they weren't.
Oh,
No, they weren't. What are you talking about? Persians were born in Persia and they came and colonized Africa and Egypt.
All right, sorry. Let me correct myself. Let me correct myself.
Right.
I didn't mean to say Africans. The Babylonians were so-called black people of color. This is what I'm trying to explain to you.
This is what I'm trying to say. This Israelite thing, it doesn't fall into the narrative of real shit what we can trace.
But you can't trace your DNA back to this. No one can. It's impossible.
No, but
all I'm trying to say to you is that there are different nations of so-called black people. That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
right.
definitely.
So what I meant to say, let me correct myself. The Babylonians were a nation of black people. They weren't Africans. They were Assyrians, but they were so-called black people
because of mixing.
So
due to interbreeding.
No.
But they wasn't born in the land of Africa. They weren't Africans.
No.
So the Persian
I'm not saying they're Africans. I'm telling you that they're not Africans.
All right.
Africans are.
I'm gonna go anyway.
All right, fella. But listen to me. You are Israelite. That's your nationality.
That's
what I'm saying to you.
I'm an African.
Do you know who named Africa? Do you know who named it?
The colonizer, European colonizer.
Absolutely. Leo Scipio Africana.
Yeah.
He was a Roman general.
The place where he conquered.
Thank you. Absolutely. So you're not Africans because we don't go back to Afrikaners.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I would say
you are Israelites. Whether you actually believe it or not, you are God's chosen people. You are the true children of Israel. That's who you are. All right? Have a good day, brother, yeah? You want to be a Jamaican? Yeah, that's our people still. That's what it is, isn't it? That our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And that's all it is. So we're going to go back to Revelation. We're going to finish up Revelation 17 here. It says, Revelation 17 verse 5. It says, and upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. That's America, the mystery harlot. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. That's why we went into slavery. She was drunken with the blood of the saints. During slavery, we were murdered, we were tortured, mass rape. Many of us died on the ships going to the Americas and to the West Indies. The blood of the saints are there. We were lynched. We were incarcerated under this devil. That's the blood of the saints, the blood of the Israelites, the children of Israel. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman. The mystery of the woman. The woman is America, Babylon the Great. And of the beast that carried her. The beast represents The beast represents the European Union and the mystery of the beast that carries her. NATO and European Union, one and the same thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. We keep it soft to God.
And the beast that carried her, which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The 7 heads represent the 7 European powers. Germania Minor, Germania Major, the Roman Empire, the Spanish Empire, the French Empire. These are the 7 heads. And the 10 horns is the European Union, which we know today as European Union. It goes back to the ECCC, goes back to the Treaty of Rome. The beast that thou sawest was and is not. The beast is who? The Roman Empire. Remember, America, or should we say, America is the reincarnation of the Roman Empire. That's that deadly wound that's healed in Revelation chapter 13. All right, we spoke about that earlier. So it says here, the beast that thou sawest was and is not. Right? That's the deadly wound that was east, that was healed, the Roman Empire, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is symbolic for Europe, right? Because there is no, it's referred to as a bottomless pit. One of the reasons because there is no resources or minerals in what we know as Western Europe, and it goes into perdition. It goes into perdition, all right? The 1,000 years, the beast goes to perdition. Talks about that in the book of Revelation, chapter 20. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. The beast that was the Roman Empire, is the 4th beast in the book of Daniel. Right? And that was and is not, it disappeared for a little while, for roughly 1,000 years during the Byzantine Empire, and yet is. It came back again in the form. In a sense, you've got to think about this. Christopher Columbus brought the beast to the Americas. He was the one that came to the Americas and played a major part in the slaughter and the destruction of the Native American Indians. So you had Columbus and his cohorts that came with him to the Americas. And then you had the Cortez brothers that came to South America. So that was the beast that was yet back again, the reincarnation of the Roman Empire. Europe, these Europeans are the reincarnation of the Roman Empire. That's who they are. The 4th beast in the book of Daniel, it speaks about that. And here is the mind that has wisdom, the 7 heads and the 7 mountains. The 7 heads and the 7 mountains. The mountains symbolic for governments, rulership. The 7 heads are those 7 empires, the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, Germania Minor, Germania Major, and the British Empire. Those are the 7 heads and the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, because America comes out of Europe. Remember, America comes out of the 13 colonies of the British colonies. Britain set up 13 colonies in America before they had the War of Independence that turned those 13 colonies into the United States of America. It was prior to that, it was ruled by King George III of Britain. That's who that is. So when it says the 7 heads and the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, the woman is America. That's the great whore. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. So you have the 7 kings, 5 are fallen. Who are the 5 that are fallen? The Greek Empire, Germania Minor, Germania Minor and Major, the French Empire and the Spanish Empire. Those are the 5 kings that are fallen. The Greeks, Germania Minor, Germania Major, the French Empire and the Spanish Empire. The 5 kings that have fallen. That's who they are. And one is. So when it says, and one is and the other is not yet come. It's going heavy today. And one is, which is the Romans. That's the Roman Empire. And one is, right? And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So the other that's not yet come is what? That's the British Empire. That's not yet come yet. Because In a sense, the British Empire comes out of the Roman Empire. The wind is blowing heavy today, family. So when it says here, and the beast that is and is not, verse 11, verse 10 again. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. We spoke about the 5 that are fallen, right? The Greeks, Germania Minor, Germania Major, the French and the Spanish. And one is, that's the Roman Empire. And the other is not yet come. That's the British Empire. And when he comes, he must come a short space. That's the British Empire. It's going to come for a short time. And the beast that was and is not, and even is of the 8th. So the beast that was the Roman Empire. And is not, when it disappeared during the Byzantine Empire rulership, the 1,000 years that he was taken to, it tells you here in the book of Revelation chapter 20, when it says, and I saw an angel, Revelation 20 verse 1, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand, and he laid hold on the dragon. The dragon is symbolic for the Roman Empire. That old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and he bound him 1,000 years. So when he was bound 1,000 years, we go back to Revelation 17, verse 10, and when he says, and there are 7 kings and 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come, and when he comes in a short time. And the beast that was, that's the dragon that was bound 1,000 years, that's the Roman Empire, and is not. That's when he was bound 1,000 years, disappeared. Revelation chapter 20. And even he is of the 8th. And he is of the 8th because America is a reincarnation of the Roman Empire. The 8th is the American Empire. And is of the 7th. The 7th is what? The British Empire. Because America comes from the British Empire. We had the 13 colonies in America. You had the War of Independence. And then it became known as the United States of America. So the 7th is the British Empire. The 8th is America. The one that was is the Roman Empire, which is the beast. When it says, and the beast that was and is not, that was the Roman Empire. When it was not, that's when it was bound 1,000 years. And he is of the 8th. The 8th is the American Empire, which is the reincarnation of the Roman Empire, but comes out of the British Empire during the War of Independence. And is of the 7th, and he goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns, which is the European Union, which thou sawest are the 10 kings. That's the European Union, which has received no kingdom as of yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Now, when it's saying 1 hour with the beast, it's talking about America, which is the reincarnation of the Roman Empire, which is the 8th beast, which comes from the 7th. It says, they have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. That's why they have NATO. They give their power and strength unto the beast, because the beast also represents NATO. The head of NATO is America. It's as simple as that. So they give power unto the beast, because America controls everything that NATO says and does. NATO, America is the head of NATO. It's as simple as that. And no one can stop what America wants to do according to NATO. America, that's why you see them keep giving the Ukrainians arms. America sent Ukraine $40 billion in arms, and then Europe follows lock and step because America controls NATO. They're the head of NATO. So what America says, NATO has to follow lock and step. So when it says there, they have one mind, NATO, and shall give power and strength unto the beast. The beast, which is NATO, America's head of NATO, one and some of the same thing, and the European Union. They shall make war with the Lamb. The Lamb is Yahweh Shai, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. They that are with him are called and chosen. Who are the chosen? That's the elect. The 144,000 and the mixed multitude, the 1/3 of Israel that are going to be delivered. They are going to be called and chosen. That's who the Lamb is coming to deliver. The 144,000 are going to fight alongside the Lord and the angels against America and NATO, which is the beast, one and the same thing. It says there, and they are with him and are called and chosen and faithful, the elect, the 144,000. And he says unto me, the waters which thou sawest, so the waters that we read about in verse 1, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, America sits on the many waters. We read that in verse 1, when it says, and I shall show, when it says here, let's quickly get it. When it says, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sits upon the many waters, in verse 1, well, those are the people. This is what John the Revelator is going to show you right here. Verse 15, Revelation 17 and 15. And he says unto me, the waters which thou sawest, which the whore sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues, because America is a country that's full of people and different nations, different tongues. They call it the melting pot. All the nations around the world, every nation on this planet lives in America. That's a guarantee. Every nation. That's why it's referred to as the melting pot. So when it says here, and it says unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns, which is the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast is NATO and America. America's the head of NATO, one and the same thing. 10 horns sawest upon the beast. These shall hate the whore. They're going to hate the whore. So NATO is going to hate the whore. Even though America's the head of NATO, they're going to hate the whore. They're going to hate the whore. So NATO, America's fellow NATO members, America's the head of NATO, he's part of the beast, but they're going to hate the whore. So the beast, which is the European Union and NATO, America's the head of NATO, all of the members of NATO are going to hate the whore. They're going to hate America. They're going to be mad with America for whatever particular reason that's going to cause them to go against America. 2 more verses, family. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Because they're going to fire nuclear on America. America's fellow NATO members are going to fall out with the United States of America. The Bible doesn't tell you what reason, but they're going to hate America for some particular reason, and they're going to end up firing nuclear missiles on the United States of America. So when it says the 10 horns, which is the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. They're going to hate America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. They're going to fire nuclear weapons on the United States of America. For the Most High, Yahweh, has put it in their hearts. He's going to put the spirit on those European nations to turn against America and to fire their nuclear weapons on America. That's the great and terrible day of the Lord. All right? Zephaniah chapter 1. For the Most High shall put it in their hearts, in their minds, to fulfill his will. His will. The Most High's will. It's going to be the Most High's will to make America's NATO members turn their weapons against America and fire nuclear missiles against America in the war of Armageddon. To fulfill his will, the Most High's will, and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. The beast is NATO. America's head of NATO. One and the same thing, the European Union. But the beast is going to come against the whore. The whore is America. They're going to fall out. The beast is going to fall out with one another. Verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city. So the woman that was sitting on the beast, that was arrayed in purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness and fornication. Well, verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city. What's that great city? America. How do we know that? Once again, Revelations chapter 11. Revelations chapter 11 verse 8. And their dead bodies, spiritually dead, shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord is crucified. America is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Sodom for its love for homosexuality and transgenderism, and Egypt for slavery. Spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. That's that great city where those dead bodies lie. The dead bodies, that means the Israelites that are spiritually dead haven't woken up, just like that Jamaican that was spiritually dead to know that he's an Israelite. He's spiritually dead to the truth, basically in that. You know, he was cool. Like I said, he wasn't challenging me. That he just has different beliefs on who we are. But he is spiritually dead. That was a perfect example of a spiritually dead body. But that great city in Revelations 11, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, is America. So Revelations 17 verse 18, and it says, and the woman, which is America, which thou sawest, is that great city, the United States of America. That great city that's spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, right? Which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Which reigns over the kings of the earth. America reigns over every country. Lockstep. Look what America's doing to Russia. It says, I want to put sanctions on Russia, and everyone has to follow. America says, I want to take Russia out of the SWIFT system. All of these countries have to follow in the West. So the rest of the beast members, which is NATO, had to follow. America says, I want to put sanction on all of the Russian oligarchs. All of the other beast members that are members of the beast, which is NATO, had to follow. Today, America says they're going to put sanctions on Russia selling gold to the West. All of the rest of the members of NATO, which is the beast, had to follow. So it's easy to understand if you're spiritually discerned, to understand the truth of the scriptures, who the beast is, who the great whore is, who's the woman that sits on this, or who's that woman in scarlet coloured arrayed and decked in gold that sits on the beast. It's easy. So we're going to finish it there. The wind is blowing hard today. Whoa! Look at that. Blowing very hard today, the wind. That's how hard the wind is blowing. That's how hard it's blowing today, boy. See, that's how hard the wind is blowing. It blew. And that's a strong book. That one that I got here. Interlearn Bible. That's a very strong book, heavy book. It was blew straight off of the thing. Blowing very hard today. So we're going to call it a day. As always, I pray you were edified by today's edification. I want to give all the praises and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash, and double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who are leading this word in truth, and salutations to my fellow Hebrew Israelite brothers out there that have been edified by the truth of the Bible, of who we are, the true truth of Israel, and who the other nations are. I pray you are edified by today's edification. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Every kingdom. And America is divided and it's coming to its end. And so is European allies. All of America's European allies are divided. And they will be brought to desolation because they're going to go to war against each other. Not so says me, so says the Bible, so says prophecy. So shalom, shalom, shalom. Until we meet again, family. Keep praying, keep safe. All praises. All praises. It's up here.